some of the members of the Hunters. Kyo, though, his Transcendence ending now, and the shields wearing away on the Hunters. Here's where they really need to pick up some kills. They use 2 support ultimates. They need to get something out of it. It's 99% already for Toronto. And there we go. The Hunters are able to chain that into a team fight win. So at the very end, they will finally flip the point. But Defiant has all the time in the world to get this back.
They do, Doa, and also Late Young is really going to want that Graviton back. Envy had already been demeched, and it was rolling towards a fight win for Chengdu. Instead, they expend a very valuable ultimate. They're going to have to contest with Ivy's ult now.
Ooh, okay, he's going to drop the minefield down, just blocking the path off for the Toronto Defiant. Yakpung very nicely split off from the rest of his team. That was actually a great play by the Hunters, and that's going to buy them some time. They're a quarter of the way there, and they just got to keep it going now.
And the best thing that the Chengdu Hunters do, when we see them at their finest, it's by being aggressive and playing chokes forward around that minefield.
Yeah.
You know, Eamon knows all the points where he can sort of, on any map, drop down unexpectedly on you, slide off roofs, gets very dicey.
Yeah, you got to have time to build that minefield back up again. And he's only at 40% right now. They have to win another fight straight up right here. They've got Kyo's Transcendence on that Zenyatta. He's going to use it now to try to keep everybody healed again. Defiant, a lot of ultimates of their own. They're going to throw in the Graviton Surge. Where's the follow-up? Self-destruct from Envy gets to Kyo and Eamon down. And we're back. Flipped over to Toronto Defiant, controlling the point. Overtime expiring soon. And I think the Hunters are in a lot of trouble here. Elsa trying to keep it alive with the Diva, just trying to keep that overtime going. Now it's Veltal's turn. Eamon is back
Ivy.
again. They've got their own grab. Ivy, though, doing the damage that they need. And even with Late Young's kill, he's going to get killed in response. And it's just going to be so hard for Toronto to get pushed off this point here.
Yeah, it is. There's still 5 members, and they can't make it back. Push up for just a second with that late into overtime. Gives Toronto the win.
What can you do? I mean, and I feel like that round really kind of typifies what we were expecting coming into the series, unfortunately, you know, where the Hunters, you know, they've got their style, and it's cool, and it is aggressive, and it is something that other teams haven't practiced against as much, but they've been doing it every match of the season so far, and, you know, in this meta, it's tough to make it work so consistently.
I mean, I think it's hard for the Hunters because they do have another tank player, Jachirin, who has not yet arrived in Los Angeles, so they're sort of waiting. You know, they're doing what they can with the pieces they have, and Eamon is a fantastic Wrecking Ball player, and with some of the future buffs that Wrecking Ball is going to receive, we anticipate at least, those are not finalized yet, but it might be a very important part of the metagame, so a future weapon for sure, but definitely an inconsistently good one right now.
Stuff on the public test realm is certainly exciting for Hammond players out there. Neko excitingly swapping to the Ana this time around. And he's going to try to land some of those sleep darts onto Wrecking Ball. There is that little pause when you go up for the ground slam that Ana's can actually capitalize on to land that sleep dart, prevent you from slamming down. Eamon, right now, just trying to stay on the point right now with the rest of his team. They're trying to control it first. Toronto on the outside looking in, trying to push forward here. Eamon blocking the door. Gonna get hacked a little bit. He's in big trouble. Elsa comes in with a hack onto Yakpung, actually. Over on the Toronto side, a lot of low health members here. Ooh, Ivy nearly went down. Stayed alive, and he's got to stay alive. They're gonna give him the nano boost. He's gonna do so much damage as he pushes back on the Hunters. And there's the grab. Lots of damage. Jinmu the first to fall, but probably not the last. There goes Veltal as well. And Hunters were so close to taking that, but the defensive play, the patient play from Defiant, winning in the end.
I mean, Chengdu has run this style of composition on this point before on Ilios, so Toronto Defiant definitely ready for it, and that means that's when the Ana's going to come out there. No, they're not going to be running the Diva here with the defensive matrix to block a lot of the incoming heals. And, well, the Yara's going to pick off Roki, though.
If you want to get that good start, having a 6v5 before the fight begins certainly will not hurt. It's going to be the Primal Rage right away from Yakpung just to try to buy some time. Here comes the grab, though, for the Hunters. Ivy falls almost immediately, and they've got a real chance to flip this one back here. It's only sub 40% right now for the Defiance, so it's a good time to swap it.
Yeah, definitely is. And that was a solo grab from Late Young onto Ivy just to make sure they could finish off the point. And they retain their EMP into the next fight, and now they can play aggressively with the minefield as well. So this is Chengdu really at their finest right now, when they can play in choke points, when they can force you to walk through all of the area of effect denial that they have with that minefield and with the EMP.
Well, they love taking the high ground on this map too. Yakpung, though, having none of it, gonna take out Kyo on his own, and they're gonna go ahead and drop the nano boost onto Yakpung. Waiting to find targets for it. Jinmu down. Turns out
he was looking for Elsa.
He did get EMP'd as well, so that did kind of slow him down a little bit. Either way, it looks like Toronto Defiant coming out ahead in this fight. They're going to go try to flip it now with Chengdu about 35% as Amon tries to delay this just a little bit more. It's looking okay. They've actually pulled back. Oh, but now they lose Veltal, and that's a problem. Minefield comes in, though, on top of the grab, and that's a double kill for Amon. He got the nice slam right after the minefield. Classic Wrecking Ball expertise. It's what you can expect from this guy, and it is certainly paying off so far.
Very good at using that combo. And Toronto Defiant, they're still struggling to make it all the way to the point because the Chengdu Hunters, they can trip you up so much on your approach, even though looked like a one fight by Toronto. Chengdu had enough time to recover, respawn, and get back to the point faster.
All right, decides to just focus on the Winston. Try to knock him off the high ground here. Yakpung does have the Primal Rage available right now, but Neko down already. Nice pick by Kyo as the Graviton Surge comes out from Defiant. It's going to be a kill onto Jinmu from the self-destructive Toronto. Stellar down, though. What can you do, man? Yakpung pops that Primal Rage now. It is a full-on brawl here. Ivy trying to do the damage, but he can't live. And Hunters just scrapping their way into another teamfight win, and they're up to 90% on the control point right now.
It must be awful to play against Amon. He is everywhere at all times. He's bisecting this team with the minefields. He's laying it on top of the Graviton Surges.
He knows what's up. Going down on a Neko now. Able to get the slam, but not the kill. The team protecting their Zenyatta on the Toronto side. Amon dodging back for a little bit of health regen. Ivy is swapped over to his favored Tracer. Likes that DPS, man. Chengdu drops the sound barrier. Ivy comes in with the pulse bomb. Has to go and dodge that self-destruct. Amon manages to get Stellar. Amon with a kill on that Wrecking Ball ultimate. Oh, and Ivy finds one into Late Young with the pulse bomb. He's been waiting for this moment, man. Can they turn it into a swap, though? Amon is down. It's a chance for Defiant. They might be able to get it here.
Ivy's trying to pop off right now. Finish off the last couple of supports, but he's got to be careful of Jindu's shield bash.
Yeah, that's right. Jinmu, don't have to be careful about him anymore at all. He's gone. Ivy with the kill there, and they flip it back. 99% for Chengdu, but Toronto give themselves a new lease on life here on Ruins.
Ivy's just going to switch off right now, heading all the way back to try and get back on this Zarya. Fortunately for him, he'll be about matched when it comes to ult percentage for Late Young, but they're going to have to give up ground on this point. He's not going to be back in time, even with the help from his Lucio speeding onto the point.
Yeah, he's got the speed boost to get back there. Amon getting aggressive onto Envy in the back lines, just trying to create some space. And there's Yakpung with the Primal Rage, pushing the Hunters back. Kyo saving that Transcendence, going to use it at the same time as Defiance Neko drop his. Amon, speaking of dropping, comes down the back line. But so far it's a standoff. No, Yakpung takes on Jinmu in the back lines. Finally gets him, but he pays for it with his life. Late Young comes back with one himself. Now the sound barrier for Hunters. Maybe they can turn this one around. We'll see. They're flipping the point right now. Can they complete it? Amon does have the minefield. It looks like it's going to catch a couple people. It's at least going to block Toronto from getting in there. There's the flip, and now overtime starting to expire. It's going to be the self-destruct from Envy. No kills out of that one, but it does pave the way for Yakpung to get back onto the point here. Amon did get a kill into Rocky. Well, Roki actually walked right into that ultimate from Wrecking Ball. Kind of surprised he got caught by that one, and have Chengdu's tied it up here. They may have Ivy just trying to stay alive, and he can't do it on the Tracer, and that will be Chengdu Hunters tying things up here on Ilios.
Amon was absolutely everywhere on that map. 19 limbs, 8 final blows. It's a little bit behind Late Young, but having that many on a Wrecking Ball is a feat in and of itself. We're going to see how Roki died right here because it was very weird.
Oh, he just jumped right onto it, I think. Whoops.
Oh, no.
You forget the minefield is there, and that's what happens.
That was a pretty crucial elimination as well. Wall riding straight into a minefield.
It's tough to say anything negative about him because Roki sounds like an adorable Pokemon name, so, you gotta give points for that, I guess. Roki, I choose you.
I was gonna say that was Roki, a bad play.
That applies too. That's, I'll take it.
All right, Jinmu.
Oh, here we go. All right, the Pharah coming out. for Chengdu Hunters. Jinmu, one of the best out there, that's for sure. Did he get the knockoff? Not
Looked
quite.
Just barely.
Very close. I kind of thought it might be one too.
All right, but this is a prepared strat, so the reason why Neko's playing the Moira here is because they don't really care. Well, unless their D.Va gets D-Mech, that is a massive problem now.
Now you're not going to be able to stop those rockets. I mean, you've got the Reinhardt shield, but that's about it. Neko taking a lot of damage right off the bat here. He's on the Moira, so he's got that escape mechanic at least in the fade. But Yakpung, too low. There goes Elsa. So a kill on both sides here, but yeah, that barrage is up, man. Jinmu just waiting for the chance to do it. Elsa does get res. He's coming in just raining from the side. He's going to just get charged down by Jinmu. That was a little bit too bold.
And we got his mech back, though.
Yep, that's right.
You know, it's one thing to try and go in there when the mech isn't there, when the D.Va can't deny all of those rockets by using the defense matrix and charge at your face with the boosters. But once you get the remech in, makes all the difference in the world. Now, the reason why Defiant are doing this is because they want the Moira, who has a lot of area of effect healing on the point, because Chengdu is trying to poke in from the outside. Once Toronto gains presence on the point, Elsa's going to need to use this EMP to disable all of the abilities from the Defiant, but
it gets found out. He has to get into the old-fashioned.
There it
just
is.
Walks in, EMPs. There's a minefield. They've got the sound barrier on the Hunters as well. Can they chain it into a team fight win, though? Yakpung extremely low. No more Reinhardt for Toronto. That could be a problem here. Eamon getting very low himself. Will he continue to get out, though? He's got no health left. Neko down. Jinmu found him with a rocket. Toronto still sitting on this point. Kyo gets res by Veltal. They're going to need more. Oh, Jinmu nearly get roasted immediately by Ivy. That's a high damage. Sorry, you got to worry about it. Another barrage from the side, and Jinmu once again taken out. This time by Ivy. Late Young decides to go for the self-destruct. Oh, what a displacement. What a knockback by Eamon. Shield was not up there. Doesn't matter in the end. Toronto maintains the point, but that was a cute move by Eamon there to get that kill onto Yakpung. That was
I
fun.
love watching Eamon play. Just little things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be enough to flip the point at the end. The competition is just too strong from the Toronto Defiant. There's not enough point presence from the Hunters.
You got to be the defender, really, with the Pharah. It's so tough to assault a control point with that. It's going to be the grab from Ivy now as they try to lock it up. Another EMP from Elsa. Late Young, the one losing his mech, though, despite all those hacks on Toronto from the Sombra ultimate. Self-destruct coming in. It's going to be the sound barrier, but Yveltal gets taken out. That's Hunters giving it up in Toronto. Able to win the map 2-1.
Great play there on Lighthouse from Toronto, coming in with exactly the strat to counter what they knew the Chengdu Hunters were going to be running.
True enough. Well, the Hunters always entertaining, but unfortunately not getting to win yet in map number 1. They'll get a chance to tie it up. When we come back, don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Toronto Defiant able to win that first map, giving themselves a lead in this 4 or 5 map series against the Chengdu Hunters. We never really know till the end, Monte Cristo.
We don't. It's true. But we kind of know.
That's it. We kind of know. It's going into this one, to be fair, Toronto is a playoff team. This is a team you'd expect to beat the Chengdu Hunters in their current state, but stranger things have happened. You never really know until it's over. But, you know, when you look at this Toronto team, it is neat to see how these veterans in Neko and Envy have kind of come together. You know, these are guys that played in the Overwatch League last year, and now you've got this new blood, right, that came over from Contenders Korea. Again, they've got that stage experience, big term experience too, but they will, you know, they've added a lot to this.
Yeah, I mean, they have, and we're going to see
Kings Row.
What exactly they can do here on Kings Row, and this is really interesting, Doa. Toronto Defiant are so confident that there's not going to be a diva. The Neko is starting on an Ana on Kings Row defense. What used to be quite common, playing from the upper hall, the upper windows to get a long sightline, has been sort of falling away because of how much Diva can deny those heals with her defensive matrix ability.
Well, I mean,
it's going to be here, though. Late Young will be playing the Diva.
Okay, yeah, they're going to call the bluff of Toronto Defiant, so Neko might not be able to be as effective on that Ana pick as they were hoping on the Toronto side.
Well, I think what they're hoping, though, is Neko at least can deal some damage to the Pharah in the air.
But that's certainly possible.
This is going to be, I think, a little bit of a rough defense here from the Defiant.
A lot of pressure on the Neko right now. He's actually already in trouble. Had to retreat back to his team, and even though you can shoot that Pharah, if you take like one rocket, you got to run for cover, man, because that second one's probably going to kill you, especially if it's a direct hit.
It can be.
It can
rough.
go the other way.
Nice
sleep dart. What? A sleep dart onto Jinmu sets up the kill there, and now Neko just going crazy. Takes out both halves of the pharmacy, gets the Pharah and the Mercy. And
but he missed his second sleep dart. The shame.
Disregard everything I said about this Ana. Clearly, Neko has decided to make it work.
He decided, to hell with you, Monte Cristo. I am going to just hit all of the sleep darts in this game.
I don't mind that, man. Shades of Jaehung there. Old school Jaehung.
Yeah, Neko here actually just going to creep around this corner.
Yeah.
And
oh, that was beautiful.
That is a beauty.
Clip the wings indeed. Fell on that telephone booth, but unfortunately, no Doctor Who in there, man. Just a regular telephone, and so you can't go anywhere. Defiant, a couple more kills. They're going to win this fight as well, and Chengdu certainly having a bit of a hard time approaching the point with this composition, but you know, will they change it?
Well, the other nice thing is that if you're the Toronto Defiant, your Envy, you can also use your hack to hack the Pharah out of midair. So you've got two sort of tools to deal with it. Neither of them are fully ideal, but if you could make it work like they're doing right now, one elimination on Jinmu. The start of it was that sleep dart. The other one was a hack.
There's the EMP. A lot of high ground, too, to hit those. And Jinmu immediately gets knocked down. That's right. Got hit by EMP. Neko finishes him off. And now Chengdu in a lot of trouble here. Veltal does get the res onto the Pharah. It's going to be the barrage. Oh, and he gets 3 with it. Whoa, Toronto not expecting that Mercy resurrection to go through. And that sets up the team fight win for Hunters. You can't forget the Pharah.
That was really well played by the Hunters because the way they got that resurrection was a counter EMP to give Mercy time.
Yep, that's right. We see Mercy's saved by the Transcendence a lot of times, but look at this. Just gets res on top of the
there's nothing they can do, right?
No.
There's no abilities left.
No,
Toronto Defiant's still going to try coming back on this, fighting it though, nano-boosting Envy so that he gets a faster EMP.
Wow, so this is happening. Toronto, somehow, some way, finishes off Jinmu in the end, but
it's a stylish finish.
It sure is, and they managed to actually hold the point. They gave up 2 ticks, nearly the entire point. I'm actually pretty surprised Toronto was able to get back on there.
Jinmu now going to be switching over to the Brigitte, so they are going for a standard 3-3 composition with only a minute remaining.
A little late to build up the ultimates you need generally to make this work. Yeah, especially like you said, the EMP. There it is. Right now, can they chain into kills? You bet they can. Envy got a little bit low there after EMP'd, but the team was ready to follow up, and Elsa getting demac'd, and that's going to be a nasty stagger to have for the Hunters with less than a minute remaining here. Oh, man, the body blocks are real. Oh, Elsa, you're not building a snowman. You're not doing anything. It's going to take a nap.
It's a different princess that sleeps, Stella.
Oh, my bad. I get it. So many. I get it confused. Stellar takes out Elsa finally, and Chengdu short-handed here with only about 20 seconds remaining on their attack. That's a rough one.
Now you got to walk into a Graviton Surge. Late Young isn't even close. If they grab you before this trance comes down, you might just die.
Yep, it's possible. There's the grab. Can anyone get to the point? Beltal has a chance here. Ooh, Shatter comes
The
in.
nade, the bio nade.
Oh boy, that's a lot of anti-healing for Toronto. Neko landing a big grenade at the end. Nobody can get to the point, and that is a full hold for Toronto Defiant. 2 ticks taken by the Hunters, but this is looking like it might be a pretty quick 2-0 lead for the Defiant.
I mean, pretty easy, right? You hit that biotic grenade during the Transcendence. That cancels out any healing you can get, so you get the immediate follow-up damage from the Graviton Surge.
True enough. Well, Defiant with a chance to get an easy win when we come back. Can the Hunters stop him? Let's find out. Hey, we're back on Kings Row. Pretty sick defense for the Toronto Defiance. Chengdu Hunters in a little bit of trouble here. They will not be able to allow 2 ticks. And let's see this. So there was a chance for the Hunters Lucio, for Yoveltal to get onto the point, and he just couldn't get there when the time expired.
He did his best.
You know, there was a big Graviton Surge. There was a lot of death and destruction coming in from the Toronto side, and you know, you try to keep your team alive. You look for that displacement with the Lucio right click. You got to remember, the objective is the objective. So Toronto Defiant.
Wiser words were never spoken, Noah.
The objective is the objective.
I feel like most of the Overwatch ladder could really
know.
use those terms.
Why don't they listen? Here we go. Toronto Defiant, as you can see, only need to take 86.8% of point A to win this one. And there goes Eamon. Are you kidding me? Easy hack for Envy from the high ground. And that might be all she wrote for the Hunters on Kings Row right there.
I think it is, Noah. I really think it is. The eliminations keep rolling in. Ivy's charged up and now defending the choke point. And here we go. Last defense for Chengdu. Oh, Kyo got Neko.
Oh, okay. Neko down.
Chance for a turnaround here.
Perhaps. We'll see. Oh, never mind. Eamon down, and that's going to be it. All right, Toronto winning Kings Row. You blink and you miss it. They have got a 2-0 lead in this series. Hunters struggling. 2 more maps to go at least here. So a chance for Chengdu to come back. But it's looking like all Toronto Defiant so far.
That it is, Noah. That it is.
Quick break and halftime when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
The Toronto Defiant are looking playoff ready. They're having no problems with the Chengdu Hunters so far as they're up 2-0 over Chengdu at the half. What's up, everybody? Malik here with Zoe and Brand. It's halftime, everybody. Now, we talked a lot about the Hunters coming in with their unorthodox style. It looks like the Defiant, they've pretty much figured out what these guys are going to throw at them so far.
Yep,
Yeah.
I would say that's the case.
Yeah.
Blink and you miss it was what that game kind of was. You know, it was over in a flash. But Toronto, I got to give them props to realistically as well coming into this game very prepared with a lot of set strategies, like Monty and Doe were saying as the game was going on.
All right, so let's go back to Ilios. I have a question for you guys off the top. What did you think about Jinmu on fire this time? Still ineffective in your
Not too hot, you know, when people are sort of playing around him a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's fancy. Like we know, like they're using different heroes, but they always use the same different heroes. So now they just kind of look predictable in their unpredictability. Not even sure if that's a word. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
All right, well, while we're on the subject of Ilios, Zoe, do you have any insights powered by Intel for us today?
I do. We're going to make this educational. We all know that Amon loves playing that wrecking ball. And here's a clip which kind of explains to you why it works. Okay. It's all coming down on how he's using his lovely minefields. So let's take a look here on Ilios. They had a really, really great combination right there at the start. So let's see how this one is playing out. Any second now. Don't worry. It's going to start moving in all. You know, pictures. There we go. Got this all set up. Right, so there's a really great graph, and he set his minefield right into it, in between the two pillars, using those choke points to have the mines closer together, and that means that it's harder for the enemies to avoid. Same scenario here, right on the ramp, in the choke point, setting those minefields down. Now let's take a look at the lovely Lucio coming up and around, and he will run right into that minefield. 3, 2, still 2. I'm really good at
There it is.
Bam,
There you go. There you go.
You know, I'm working on
Stop
my
it in
kind
the
of
choke
skills.
point.
Meanwhile, everyone at home, if you want to play a wrecking ball successfully, try to use those choke points and those corners and really play around that. Monty said it during the cast, and we just saw it again in slow-mo. Still, I'm really good at counting to 3. Just pointing it out there. Yeah, but this is how you get it done. Unfortunately, Defiant came prepared.
It's
so.
optimal Hammond play, but not necessarily what they needed to win the map. All right, so let's move on to King's Row. We got to see Neko with some sick sleep darts playing as Ana.
Yep, we really did. And this is the set strategies that I think Monty touched on as well in the game, and something that I am a big fan of Toronto coming out the gate with, because this is something I've always said as well about Chengdu, is that they're coming out with these fancy strategies. They're coming out with a wrecking ball, the fire on a regular basis, but it won't be long until teams are coming out with set plays to try and counteract this. And Neko playing the Ana, and alongside him Envy as well on the Sombra, are two of the sort of picks that they've gone for to try and counteract this style. They can use the hacks to try and disable, Amon or Jinmu, who was playing the fire a little bit earlier, and Neko as well. He can play this Ana, and it's not going to get disrupted as much, and he's going to be putting in so much pressure as well into Jinmu when he was playing the fire. A super impressive half coming in from Neko here.
Yeah, I love that we see more use of Ana. Despite there being a diva on the enemy team, people learn to play around it and they make more space. They either distract the diva from the enemy team, hack the diva from the enemy team, all sorts of things to make those sleep darts hit and to enable your Ana.
All right, so guys, we're going into the second half here. The Hunters down 0-2. What should they do differently? Should they?
Boy.
Let me not say differently, because they do everything differently.
Try a
pretty
Reinhardt
much.
once in a while, maybe.
Should they try to just stick to the meta like everyone else?
I don't know, because clearly they're not good at playing Reinhardt, right? Because we see him and he pulls it out every now and then. They're not fantastic. I think you stick to what you know, which again is the wrecking ball compositions. But you do need to adapt as the game is going on. If you see that Neko is getting so much value out of Ana, you need to be starting to prioritize eating up his bionades, using the defense matrix from your diva player. Late Young, I'm looking at you, lad. You need to get your act get your act together here. Start eating up those bionades and start essentially denying so much value that they're getting out of these key little picks when it comes to playing the Ana, playing the Sombra as well.
Well, I tell you, I hope we get to see more Ana, because I've definitely been enjoying watching Neko on that. But we'll see if the Hunters can get back into this game, into the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match.
And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, everybody. Right now, Toronto Defiant up 2 over the Chengdu Hunters, and it's looking pretty one-sided so far, huh?
It is. I mean, you have to say the Defiant really following the hunter-killer protocol that was
I guess so.
that was laid down by the Seoul Dynasty of the Shanghai Dragons. They have been a little bit figured out. Their strategies are pretty transparent, and Defiant doing exactly what they need to do, bringing that Ana play, bringing the Moira play against them on the Lighthouse Point on Ilios, and
True enough. But there's a substitution. That's right. Bacon Jack subbing in for Late Young, of course. DPS superstar. And will he be able to make a difference? It's a change, but it doesn't really seem like that amounts to a stylistic change in maps for this team when he comes in.
It does, because they're probably going to play a lot of Widowmaker now on Volskaya, so there's an opportunity for him to actually make some game-changing pickups by sniping people off the enemy team. We'll see if it will actually make a big enough of effect, though, for the Chengdu Hunters to win.
Sure. It's going to allow them to do the double sniper thing like they're kind of showing right now. As we get started on the defense on Volskaya Industries, Toronto Defiant making a couple last-minute swaps as well. We'll see. Bacon Jack needs to get those picks. Same goes for Jinmu. Eamon, again, still looking to make those plays. But, ooh, there's another swap. Yakpung going over to the Winston. When you have that double sniper, you can get aggressive on that backline sometimes.
Yeah, you can. And using the Winston, you need to be able to reposition to try and jump on top of the Widowmaker.
That's the idea. Ooh,
Try and get control of the high ground first, though, by jumping in with the Zarya bubble on top of the Winston and then rotating around the side to the high ground.
Right.
Oh, my. It's a great D-Mac already, actually.
Whoa, no kidding. Bacon Jack finding that final damage right as it ends. And, ooh, a couple good shots there. Perhaps waiting for the team to show themselves.
Can you actually get in there, though, to deal with Ivy? Because Stellar is in there with the shield bash.
Well,
finally.
Apparently you can.
Well, Eamon's going to get the mini diva, and now they're going to get Ivy on the exit. So
Here we go.
got both of those choke points.
So the thing is yeah, Widowmaker's ultimate lets you see through walls, but Hanzo kind of gets to do that on a small area all the time. And if the attacking team is going through this room, you're always going to know exactly where they are with Sonic Arrows. So it's really tough for Toronto Defiant to actually push this way against this double sniper.
Yeah, but it's hard for Chengdu to push into that room because there's so much healing, and all of their damage is in long-range snipers that have no sight lines.
Yeah.
So how do you actually displace the triple support that are bottled up there?
Do you need to, as long as they stay in there, though?
I mean,
let them stay in there, I say. Let them eat cake in the side room.
They've escaped, though, Noah.
Oh, no, they're out. Oh, there we go. Bacon Jack trying to equalize things again. And Toronto Defiant, big knock-up coming in from Eamon. That's going to be the minefield as well. Self-destruct dropping down. Roki not so lucky. Again, the minefield is his doom. Jinmu gets rezzed. by Veltal, and it looks like Hunter's still holding. Not bad so far.
It's a very unique defense.
Yeah.
We don't typically see double sniper defenses because they don't have a lot of point control, right?
Right.
You can't really jump down onto the point and live very long if you're playing with a sniper like a Widowmaker or a Hanzo. Now, here we go. They're just going to try and push the dragon through right now.
Interesting. All right. Now, they don't have any Graviton Surge or anything to pair that, so you can kind of use it as a zoning tool to just buy more time. Toronto Defiant with 1:30 on the clock, deciding to go the right side. But again, that Sonic Arrow just showing the Hunters exactly where they're going to be, helping set up those shots for Bacon Jack's Widowmaker.
You see Stellar there using the Brigitte shield just to make sure the supports get over safely.
Yeah.
To the next room against the two snipers. They're going to drop down and try and get onto the point now.
Yeah, it's tough. You're trying to control this little health pack room. This is a classic attack strat when you're going against something a little bit more DPS heavy here. There's going to be another Mind Shield field already, rather. Yakpong with that Primal Rage doesn't really want to go in on it. That Primal Rage doesn't get him a whole lot. Yakpong a little bit low, gets the heals just in time. Oh, but he's getting so low. Can they finish him off? Transcendence comes in from Neko. They needed that bad, and now with Jinmu down, that's the chance. They had to use the grab to do it. Bielfo, what? Velto just gets a res. Nobody can stop him. He just floats up there and does it. That's another Dragon Strike coming through. Knockup taking a lot of those Lucio shields out of there as they were in that Dragon Strike for a short time. Kyo down, though, and now with Elsa knocked off the map, that might be the ticket. Jinmu does get one onto Yakpong, but looks like Toronto will finally take A.
And they got 4.5 minutes off the time bank, Doa, so
not bad.
Yakpong had to wait to get a Primal Rage just so he could leap over and zone out the two snipers. The crowd is cheering for Bacon Jack's Bastion.
Oh, yeah, man, and they're cheering for Jinmu's Torm. Are you kidding me? That's right. Not just the Bastion. Bastion doesn't get a cheer like that, Monty. Only one hero in Overwatch gets a cheer like that.
Symmetro?
No, it's Torbjorn. That's right. He's back. Hunters putting everything they've got into this defense here. The turret firing from the side. Envy drops the mech right on top of it. Sleep dart on a Neko, but he's going to respond with a kill on a Jinmu anyway. That doesn't matter for the Hunters, though, as they are going to grab a couple kills here. One tick already taken by Defiant, as they're trying to remain as such on the point here. Hunters,
that's a
they've
big
got that Orisa
Nate.
shield, and it's going to be tough for them to break through it. That's right, Kyo dropping that grenade from Ana, reducing the healing to 0 for a short time for Defiant, and they're going to hold. So, interesting.
Yeah, Kyo actually saved that push by using the Bionade.
Yeah.
And also getting the Sleep Dart onto Neko in the little room, which gave them a little bit more time to burst him down. And they're just going to set up this high ground defense once again. Well, is this the Overwatch League? Is it a gold ladder game? I don't know.
I don't know. It could be. Why not both? That's what I say.
I mean, it is gold. That's the Chengdu Hunter's color.
That's right. It's a Path of Pro right in front of us. That's it.
I like how they have the Reinhardt and the Orisa for double barrier.
You got to dive onto it, too, and that's going to make that Enter Grenade really good. You got to get aggressive on this. Graviton Surge used by Toronto. Not a lot of people caught up in that. Bacon Jack goes into tank
Nano
form.
boosted.
That's right. He's nano boosted. He's got to get the damage done. That shield does not last long. Stellar. Whoa! Picks Roki out of the air. It's Duck Hunt.
You know, I honestly love this, Doa. The Defiant, when they're in-game, they're not the most adaptable team in the world.
Not really. That's
and
the thing.
Chengdu is really throwing them for a loop right now by running a double barrier Bastion Torbjorn high ground defense and forcing them.
I think it's great.
They're covered from the front. They're covered from the back.
It's like the pirate ship back on Junkertown back in the day, only it's no ship. It's just like the turret, man. It's the fortress comp.
This is hilarious.
I love it. 2 minutes remaining for Toronto Defiant. They've gotten a little over a tick so far. They need a lot more to take point B here. Here we go. Jinmu hits the E again. Yakpong down already. That Winston out of commission. Ooh, they lost Elsa, though, so it could be a problem here for the Hunters. Could be a big problem as Defiant finally crush through this and take point B. It took them a long time, but they finally cracked it.
I mean, it was silly. It was effective. Like, both of their defenses were quite effective in draining time off the clock. So credit to the Hunters.
I don't even know what to say at this point. We can see anything in this match. Quick break. When we come back, Hunters go on the attack. Don't miss it. spirited defense by the Chengdu Hunters takes the Toronto Defiant down to 1:44 in the time bank. Don't forget, next Sunday, Paris Eternal versus San Francisco Shock at 12 p.m. Pacific on Disney XD. That's going to be a sick match as well. One of our final regular matches in the stage before a week of playoffs. Should be a fun time. But back to this one. Right here.
Back
right
to
now.
this one,
That's
where
right.
the Chengdu Hunters managed to take a lot of time on the off clock. You know, for a map that we frequently see going to 2 or more full completions, so like 4+ points for a team.
Here we go.
For them to come out and take almost all the time, less than 2 minutes remaining, is quite the feat. And now Chengdu back on the Farah Bacon Jack, taking over on the Sombra, so DPS heavy composition.
That's right. It's far time.
Normally, you wouldn't see this if the enemy team is running a Winston 3-3 on defense, because it's a lot easier for Winston to take advantage of enemy positioning and take out a support quickly.
Well, we'll see. It's going to need to be careful because Bacon Jack's going to have those hacks ready to go. And I feel like you wouldn't normally see this is how you've started every analytical point you've made this series, Monty. You're usually right, but with the Hunters, who knows, man?
I mean, the Hunters are losing the match.
They are. That is true. Well, they do get the first kill on the Yakpong,
That's
though.
a big one, and they're just going to roll through.
Yeah, why not? They could chain this into quite a bit more.
Oh, they
Look
can,
at,
and
well,
they
goodbye,
will.
Ivy. Ivy, not long for this world. There goes Envy's mech as well. There goes Envy. Called that one. And it looks like the Hunters are going to be able to take point A in pretty quick fashion here.
Ivy is trying desperately to laser a far out of the sky, but that's not going to work. So much chip damage coming in from these rockets.
A Yakpong back again, but he doesn't have the ultimate. Oh, but they do have the Transcendence. Toronto Defiant, a chance to regroup. And with Ivy's
boy.
kill on Bacon Jack and Elsa's mech, are you kidding me? Amin tried to stomp right there, but he got pulled into the grab right before he was going to land. Toronto Defiant turning this one around. Whoa, that was so close for the Hunters, but they're going to have to try again.
See, one of the issues, Doa, is if those tanks can stay alive long enough, you get the respawns, and you're not actually putting pressure on the point a lot of the time.
Fair enough.
Simply because you don't have tanks to survive against the rockets. So, you know, you're not able to really walk down there and start getting that percent forward. They did get 2 ticks, and now the Chengdu Hunters are coming back with an EMP.
Yep, Bacon Jack lurking in the back, ready to attack. I'm sorry, that was too much alliteration. Which rhyming, actually. All right, has to back away after he gets shield bash. Envy engaging with the self-destruct. Chengdu Hunters scattering. Nobody gets caught by it, though. And they just need that one last tick. There's the EMP. Bacon Jack just throwing it at the door, but he didn't hit the sound barrier. It's going to try to save Toronto Defiant. Keo down. Ivy finds one. Good start for the Defiant here, despite the hack onto Envy. He does lose his mech. He's got something. Keo does get rezzed by Veltal, so Hunter's still in this one for now. Ivy with that pulse bomb. Is he going to be able to find a target for it, though? Lurking on the side, trying to get up on the high ground.
Wants a support pick off here if he can get it. Keo in the back.
Nice stick! Gets it right onto the Ana. Meanwhile, Amon stomping Envy into the ground. Jinmu down courtesy of an angry Roki. It's super effective.
It is super effective, Doa. Now Chengdu suddenly, after looking like they would cap that first point for sure, under a minute remaining here on point A.
Yeah, it's looking grim for the Chengdu Hunters. They will have just 2 ultimates, it looks like, coming up here in Hammonds and Mercies. Maybe the EMP. Bacon Jack has a good chance to build this one, but it's looking rough.
Amon really has to make this minefield work.
Yep, that's right. Does he just trap Yakpong in the door with the minefield? No, not quite.
Nice
Waiting
stun.
it out. Yeah, it works out. There we go. They're trapping him in there. Ooh, that is pretty good. Yakpong down. It's going to be hard to get out for the rest of the members. Keo going in, blowing up a lot of those mines while in Transcendence, so he doesn't take damage. A good response from Defiant, but they're down their main tank. There goes Ivy. Chengdu with a real chance to take this one. Envy could not get there. They take A.
That was really well played by Chengdu.
Get to B. There's still members of Defiant on A.
There you
can
go.
make it. If you can rush it.
They can rush it, but look at what they did right there, Doa. They set up the minefield, waited until the anti-healing biotic grenade came in from Keo's Ana, so they can actually finish the elimination onto the main tank.
True enough. Amon hacked, has to back away, has to play a little bit safe here. Seems to be regularly, more or less ignored. Ooh, nice shield bash onto him. Gotta watch out, needs that shield back. Here we go, Roki! Getting run over. Meanwhile, Yakpong in a lot of trouble here. Amon does have another minefield. He's going to use it once again to split off a few members of Toronto here.
Six-player
down.
hack.
That's right. Big EMP comes in from Envy, but there's no follow-up from Defiant. So what are you going to do? Now the EMP for Bacon Jack, and they may have just sealed the deal here. Only the respawns coming in now. Roki first to appear. It's going to be Yakpunk swapping over to his own Wrecking Ball, but he's going to get slept and taken out of this Mortal Coil. That's going to be B, perhaps. Envy down. Self-destruct comes in for Elsa. Stellar manages to get his shield up in time.
Rally is up.
Yeah, trying to stay alive with that rally.
So
They've got the sound barrier. Oh, Toronto, we've seen them turn this one around again. Ivy, lots of damage.
Got the grab, but he's not hacked, though.
Yep, that's right. Waiting for it. Oh, the grab gets eaten. Elsa was ready. He was right up in his face with the defense matrix. Chengdu Hunter's trying to make this one last. Jinmu gets nano boosted, and that's a lot of damage coming out of that Brigitte right now. Amon gets a couple as well, and I think the Hunters may have actually just been able to equalize here. That's it. They get B, and they've got a better time bank, too.
A little bit of a greedy play at the end of A cost Toronto Defiant. And they couldn't get in position in time, but brilliant use of a minefield and a biotic grenade from the Hunters, and they roll through B as well.
That was an exciting round. We'll be back to see who takes it in the extra innings right after this. Sky Industries hosting perhaps the most industrious of Overwatch League teams, and the Chengdu Hunters just trying to do anything they can to make things work with the composition, the way they've chosen to play the game.
Yeah, this
was
was
the end of A again here.
This was the play I was talking about, because they wait until Neko can get in there, and there is the biotic grenade. And it was really the patience to wait until the barrier was down, to throw the biotic grenade in the Winston bubble, and then by cutting off any retreat with the mines. And that was an excellent combination by the Hunters. They know how to run these compositions. They're creative, and they know how they play. It's just that they're not necessarily the best comps, although Roki's just going to get popped up in the air
Roki.
and destroyed by Baking Jack.
Man.
Good setup there. I mean, they disrupted that Winston bubble, and they popped out one of the supports, and that gave Bacon Jack enough time to get the snipe kill.
And we saw how long the Hunters were able to hold this point in their first defense. Oh, Neko! How dare you show your face in the presence of Bacon Jack? He will find you every single time.
And now they have to retreat because they can't get the low mobility Zenyatta across those open spaces against two snipers without their tank line there. So they have to full retreat right now.
You gotta have some sort of shield in front of him, because it's like we were talking about earlier. Jinmu's gonna have the Sonic Arrow on there, man. They're gonna know where you are. Dragon Strike coming through.
Oh, that's
Toronto
brutal.
Split off a little bit.
Eamon's just gonna D-mech. Wow, he just got the
Envy.
D-mech on Envy, pushed him out just by bouncing him out.
Yep, split him off for the rest of the team. Easy D-Mech. Now Defiant in big trouble. They don't have their Diva. No way to block incoming stuff.
And with only 20 seconds left.
Oh, Neko.
Yeah,
Neko.
He's going to be coming back with a Widowmaker, a desperation play for Envy.
Oh, he's known for that hero as well. That's a minefield. Just dropped right in the big health pack room. Bacon Jack with another headshot onto Neko. There goes Envy as well. And the Chengdu Hunters with a stalwart defense on point A. It's crazy, but if it works, who cares? Desperation for Toronto Defiant. Envy now over on the Tracer, but they've already lost Ivy Zarya. Bacon Jack under pressure here. Yakpung trying to fight the 1v1, but he has to retreat. Somebody needs to get on the point. There goes Roki. Jinmu finds him with an arrow. Jinmu finds Envy as well. There's no stopping the Hunters. They're going to hold it right here, and they're going to put themselves in a great place to win this map.
Great strats from the Hunters. You really do have to admire what they can do. They think outside of the box. double sniper defense, that's weird. Orisa, Reinhardt, Bastion, Torbjorn defense, that's incredibly weird for Point B, but they know how to run these strategies. They have the plays in mind. Look at this flank from Chengdu, too. Gross.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And the whole team,
Another one.
the whole team just really knows how to play around.
What? Chengdu, you beast!
Chengdu, we talked about him, top 2 far in the league. Excellent projectile DPS player. Those are some impressive mechanics.
That's terrifying. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, man.
Jinmu's going to keep you up at night.
That's right. I mean, every time I come around a doorway, there's going to be an arrow. Actually, as a Zenyatta main, that is a legitimate nightmare for me because every time I walk through a doorway in the game, there's an arrow already headed at my head, in the air.
Just to make you feel worse, though,
yeah.
Just remember, if you're not getting killed by Jinmu, Bacon Jack's in the crossfire. So.
I know, right? Well, Chengdu Hunters, I mean, they're kind of playing Overwatch League on hard mode.
They are.
Because they're like, well, these are our comps. This is what we're going to do. And it's like, it's not ideal. It is not the ideal way to play the game right now, but
it's super fun.
If you're super good at it, like the Hunters are, why not, right?
What I was saying is just they play around the minefield so well, too.
Yeah.
You can tell their communication is quite good.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is as soon as the meta shifts away from 3-3, I think these teams are going to have to quake in fear whenever they face the Chengdu Hunters.
Here we go. So, best Toronto Defiant can hope for is a draw right now. Chengdu only needs to take the first tick on this point, and they're already forcing everybody off the point into the bunker. That percent is ticking up.
Yeah. Oh, already got Envy really, really low. Remember, they just need that first third of control percent on the point to win this map. Yveltal down early, though. They lose their Mercy.
Big play.
That's a good pick by Ivy. Keo picked off on the way out as well. And if Elsa got demexed, that's going to be a nasty stagger. So Defiant putting the pieces together early on to buy a lot of time.
Yeah, you can tell right now with Neko back on the Ana, he's able to use the biotic grenade on his own team as well, so that some of the poke damage from all of these rockets chipping away at the health bars, can be healed up very quickly by an Ana if they're all grouped together inside that bunker.
Yeah. Yeah, Ana does put out a lot of healing, just in general. Always a pretty good pick versus the Pharah.
Yeah, Toronto Defiant, if they can hold us to a draw, they will win the match as well.
Elsa got hit with that sleep dart. Amon a little bit low here. Bacon Jack in trouble. Ooh, one more shot. Would have done it. Bacon Jack down to like 10 HP there. Very lucky he didn't just get picked off by Neko. And they only need that one tick. Remember, Toronto Defiant coming in. There's the EMP on top of the grab. There goes Bacon Jack. Can they get Amon? Jinmu firing in the barrage. No kills out of that one. Defiant winning the fights they need to win. It's going to be less than 30 seconds remaining. You can tell they took their time to kill Keo. They want those staggers. 25 seconds left for the Hunters.
Bacon Jack used his EMP inside Ivy's grab, and now Toronto Defiant have 5 volts. If they can hold here, they are going to just win this series because Chengdu can't win 2 maps any longer.
That's right. A draw means that Chengdu can only get 1 map win left in these 4 maps. Defiant already has 2. A draw here is a win for Defiant in the overall series. Amon nearly going off here, down to half health. He's in a lot of trouble. There's the minefield. Neko throws in the biotic grenade. Meanwhile, Yakpong, he's got Lucio cornered here. Yveltal in a lot of trouble. Ivy goes down already, though. So Amon, with a chance here, he may have bought their team a new lease on life. Oh, they might have it. Envy down. Got hit with that self-destruct. There goes Yakpong. Envy trying to stay alive. Roki down as well. And the Hunters, at the last moment, have done it. They are still alive in this series.
And a miscommunication from the Defiant. Nano boost goes on the Yakpung, but Yakpung pops his primal rage. And that caused a lot of problems for them, but credit to Amon as well, who isolated the Zarya and got the first elim onto Ivy.
Well, it's still going. Map 4 when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Chengdu Hunters a win in map 3. They are still in this series. I mean, their compositions, the way they play in this meta, it's kind of like being the best go-kart driver in a regular car race. Like, you're still going to beat people. But the difference is their go-kart, it's like a Mario Kart go-kart. They've got like the red shell once in a while. They get to be Bullet Bill once in a while. So they've got ways to get ahead of you.
That's
it's
right.
just not consistent.
It's not consistent. I think that's a good analogy. And to give you an indication of Chengdu, so they barely won that last map in overtime, final push. But they had 56 elims to 30 from the Toronto Defiant. They had nearly double the amount of eliminations. And it's not the same amount of sticking power when you have so many tanks, so much sustain onto the point. Even if you win these fights, you can still be a player ahead, 2 players ahead, but you're not going to be able to burn through the rest of the tank at the sustained heals coming from the 3-3 composition. And that's sort of why we see so much of the triple tank, triple support.
Yeah, you're playing on a hard mode.
You're playing an objective-based game. You know, Chengdu's playing deathmatch. They want eliminations. Everyone else, they're playing for objectives.
I don't mind that. I love watching the Hunters. So
I
win
do
or
too.
lose, these guys are definitely one of the most fun teams to watch in the league. Let's see what they can do on Route 66. Defiant on the attack first off, trying to close out this series.
Keo
And
is now
Hunters,
going to play Soldier 76.
I was going to say, yeah, the flex support flexing over to a DPS here. He's got a little bit of healing, I suppose, but mostly they're just going to try to lay down a lot of suppressing fire. Ooh, that's dangerous to drop off there. You don't want to do that too much. Your Soldier, Ivy, low. Bacon Jack gets him with the melee on the Tracer. And Chengdu starting to make this defense look easy here.
So what they're doing,
Oh, Neko from behind.
Got 2 actually.
Whoa, Neko.
That's gonna be
DPS
huge.
Zenyatta. That's very big. It's going to take a long time for them to get back on the Chengdu side.
Getting 2 eliminations right there, definitely worth it, because now it's a 4 versus 4 with the spawn advantage for the Defiant. They've got all their players now moving over to the payload, and that will defeat this first point, or at least the first part of this first point's defense for Chengdu. That
said, no swaps for Chengdu Hunters yet. They're going to go ahead and stick with the Soldier 76, which is a hero we've barely seen at all so far this stage. Oh, Amon dropping in and just immediately getting evaporated by the other team.
They
There's
stuck
a
the back.
stick. Yeah, but there was a Zarya shield that came in and saved him. Still a lot of damage onto Envy, but they didn't get the DMAC. And now Roki getting pretty aggro, but Defiant still rolls forward with that payload.
Yeah, nothing really much they could do there. Tried to get the D-back on the Envy, but Zarya was there.
Whoa,
They get
EMP.
an EMP, and Neko will fall instantly.
Enormous EMP from Bacon Jack, and that's going to be Chengdu easily cleaning up that fight. That was beautiful. 6-man EMP, I believe, from Elsa.
Yeah, really big
I said
one.
Bacon Jack. I meant Elsa.
Yeah, Elsa, has been doing a lot of work on the Sombra so far in the Chengdu Hunters games. They're actually going to rally here and then try and intercept them before they reach the payload. Interesting idea.
Well, the idea for rallying early is that you have that extra armor and then you build up another one during the ensuing fight. But that armor does expire, so we'll see how well it goes for them. Now it's going to be Keo walking in with that tactical visor, but easy transcendence for Defiant. They can just kind of wade through that one. The Soldier ult, not the greatest right now in the current metagame. It is pretty easily countered. Minefield, though, on the payload. We'll see what that does. It's going to get Yakpong all trapped here. He's got the sound barrier to stay alive. Got the healing just in time as well. Now Toronto back on the attack again, using a lot of ults. There's a grab thrown in. Yveltal in a lot of trouble. He goes down, as does Jinmu, and looks like that's going to be Defiant finally cracking open point A.
I mean, the core problem is that, yes, you have all these flankers. You have so much mobility with a Tracer and a Sombra, Soldier 76 ability to sprint around. But you don't have a Diva, so if you ever cluster up, Ivy's going to catch you with that Graviton Surge, pull all your DPS together, and that's going to be the end of the team fight.
Yeah, you can kind of use your grab wherever you want here. If there's no Diva on the other side, nobody's stopping you. It's open field. Elsa.
EMP up.
That's right. Got a pretty good one last time. Let's see if you can recreate it. Dropping in, and there it is. Gets pretty much everybody but Neko. But Bacon Jack right there to kill him before he gets his Transcendence. Big play there by Bacon Jack on the Tracer. And now Hunter's not giving any ground to the Defiant, stopping them just as they come through the gate. And we'll see how long they can hold them here, but it's a good start.
Yeah, and they're sticking to this composition. They are
literally
sticking to their guns with their triple DPS composition right now, and they're playing it really well. What Amon's doing is he's just plopping into the middle of them, separating players, and that's when Elsa and Bacon Jack are getting onto the flanks and isolating the Defiant supports.
Well, stick. Doesn't get anybody that time. Bacon Jack not making that ult work this time around, but all right, it's going to be the self-destruct engage. Ooh, Ameng decided to try to come down on the cart with the minefield, but the self-destruct was there. That clears out the mines as well.
They just reacted instantly to the minefield being dropped.
Yeah.
With the self-destruct, just to make sure there wasn't going to be any follow-up.
Well, I believe the self-destruct was already in the air when the minefield was used, which kind of surprises me, but...
Yep. They knew, I think they knew it was coming in with Amon.
Yeah.
Hovering around the cart right there.
I think you're right. Cart is moving. If they can finish B quickly, they'll have a good amount of time in point C, and that's the really tough one on Route 66. That's where it gets more challenging to push through. All right, Amon dropping in there. Stellar dropping a little bit low, and Roki dropped completely by Jinmu. Chengdu with the early kills, but Yakpong bounces off of Kyo's head, rather. Evaldo the double melee onto Stellar and Neko. Hunter's not giving this fight up at all. Yakpong just trying to be disruptive in the back. Right, that's a double for Bacon Jack, and the pulse bomb finishes off Yakpong as well, and that was going well for Defiant right up until the moment when it wasn't.
Well said. I mean, it was going well, but they had people on the payload, and most importantly, they were pushing it. But at the end here, let's check out Bacon Jack.
Yep.
We're going to get a fat bomb there. Bubble disappears.
Oh, man.
Backwards walk straight into Envy.
I was going to say, Envy just walked.
It was over at that point anyway.
Yeah. Envy's like, take me with you to the afterlife. Chengdu Hunters. There's another minefield coming in. Bacon Jack down early, though. Chance for Defiant to turn this one around, but they have less than a minute remaining. Getting the kills, though, so it looks like this might be the end of B.
Looks like Neko still forgot to change his spray.
Sure. Will he ever? Boston spray forever, man. All right, the cleanup comes in for Defiant. That's going to be point B after they eliminate Bacon Jack. There he goes. He's fried, crispy. Just how I like my bacon.
Is that how you like it?
That's right.
No limp bacon for Noah.
Nothing against Bacon Jack. That's just how I like my bacon. Coincidentally, I decided to talk about that right there. Into point C, Toronto Defiant with a lot of ultimates saved up to use on this one as well.
And now Chengdu going to be running the Sombra 3-3. So switching to the Reinhardt, more or less mandatory. I mean, there's not a lot of alternative paths to take here with the Wrecking Ball to get flanks. Basically just a long haul.
There's the grab. Jinmu down already. Pretty easy fight win for Defiant. Hunters, though, they're able to back a few people off and wait for the respawns here.
And now it's just a matter, Ivy trying to stop people from getting through these respawn doors by using his Zarya charge there.
Yeah.
Still at about 80%. Dealing damage on the approach. Elsa does have an EMP.
Whoa, that's a big one, too. It's a lot of members of Toronto, and Hunter's wasting no time in capitalizing onto that one. Right back onto the payload, and Defiant going to get to be sent back to spawn. Ivy a little bit staggered there, and under a minute again for Toronto Defiant here to finish their attack.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good push, though, so far. And, you know, we'll see. They had an opportunity maybe to hide Neko at that fight and use the Transcendence, but not going to take advantage of it. However, no more EMP now for the Chengdu Hunters. They have switched off of the Sombra.
Here comes Toronto. Jinmu a little bit low, and Neko with that Transcendence. Good tool to keep in your back pocket in case your team starts getting a little bit low like Stellar is right now. Here's the aggression from the Hunters coming in. Ivy down to half health. They're going to throw in the grab. Again, Hunters, not really much of a way to stop that. What? Earth Shatter setting up the double for Envy. That's how you do it.
That is definitely how you do it. Big shatter, and they save their Transcendence in case there's any additional aggression onto the payload.
Elsa immediately eliminated. Amon back again. Now it's about stalling it out as long as they can. They're into overtime. They do have the sound barrier. Graviton Surge used, though. We'll see if maybe they can push through. Bacon Jack down. He was back on the Zarya again for the moment. They needed that durability. And now the Mei brought out by Jinmu, taken down, and finally, in overtime, Toronto Defiant finished their attack round.
A little bit of a hard push through the first parts of Route 66, thanks to the wacky comp played well by Chengdu.
Yep. Now let's take a look And Yakpung at the end of that last map really setting up this kill with this Earth Shatter.
Graviton Surge,
Yep.
there's a self-destruct, and he just walks around the side.
Why not? Just go right through that shield. Knocks everybody down. Easy self-destruct combo.
I mean, what you do when you set that up, too, is it's like, okay, so I'm going to time my self-destruct as close to, or my shatter as close to the self-destruct as possible.
Right.
You have to turn your Reinhardt shield one way, and you're dying either way, so...
Pretty much. What do you do? Yakpung with a heads-up play to give Toronto Defiant that third point on their Route 66 attack. Now it's the chance for the Chengdu Hunters to respond. And they make their wacky comps work on attack. They were able to hold off for quite a while in defense, but that's what they can do. The series is on the line for these guys. Toronto Defiant, an important series for them as well, as they are very much in the playoff hunt right now. They're 3-2 overall. And it'd be pretty surprising if we didn't see these guys make the playoffs. I gotta say.
And especially, you know, with a win here, right?
Yeah.
You're moving up to 4-2. You're pretty much going to be guaranteed to make it into the playoffs. One thing that could hold them back maybe a little bit is their map differential, but they're pretty darn likely to make it.
All right, well, we'll see if this is what it is. There we go. Okay, the swaps come for the Hunters at the last moment. We'll see if they can make this Orisa composition work. Back to the Pharah. They love to run this Pharah Mercy.
Casual quad DPS Pharah. Okay, well, here we go. The Orisa is going to be used to drag people around corners to try and set up shots for Bacon Jack here.
Route 66 is where we started seeing a lot of this 3 and 4 DPS stuff in Contenders Korea earlier. Now seeing it off and on in the Overwatch League. Yakpung in a little bit of trouble, got bounced out, but got the Zarya shield in time to keep him healthy.
Yeah, they also have an Ana here, so lots of heals in the corridor. No real way to stop the Biotic Grenade from hitting all the members of Toronto. And they can stop the payload just by popping in and out of that doorway.
Yeah, that's right. They can stay close enough. Jinmu now just getting right up in the doorway. That Reinhardt shield getting very
Already
low. That barrage, though.
Already a barrage.
Yeah, they've got the Diva there to counter that. Okay, they're going out. Neko using that nano boost so Divine can get onto the payload.
Ivy was the one who received the nano boost, but you can see they're so mobile, this Chengdu Hunters composition.
Well, it's the old idea of giving the Zarya the nano boost to help build up that that ultimate, that Graviton Surge faster, but he didn't really make a whole lot of use of it. Still only at about 70% ult charge for Ivy on that Zarya.
There you go. There is a Mercy ult out now, so Valkyrie up and available.
Oh, the stick
Not
not
gonna
happening.
stick, but there's the bash in response. Stellar.
That is what Brigitte was designed to do. Jinmu decides to try to pull out the barrage, but they are ready. Bacon Jack, though, ready for Yakpung. There's the EMP. 4 members of Toronto, everybody left alive, gets hit with the hack. And it looks like Hunters are going to win the fight. They'll keep pushing that payload.
I mean, these EMP revives that they keep pulling off. So EMPing to give Yveltal the cover to get a Mercy Resurrection, bringing Bacon Jack back into the mix. Bacon Jack switched over, I think, to the Hanzo a while ago, so he could put more pressure on the Reinhardt shield. You could deal a lot of damage to barriers with his Storm Arrow ability.
It's a good idea. I like it.
You fire out a bunch of those arrows quickly to break the Reinhardt shield just a little bit faster.
So there we go. Defiant with another opportunity to defend here. They're going to go for it. Nano boost over onto Envy in the back lines, and Bacon Jack already down. Eamon's supercharger. That Orisa ultimate not lasting too long. Bacon Jack gets rezzed again. Yo, still pretty far away from that EMP, though, and Defiant picking up the kills. There goes Bacon Jack. And now it looks like a bit of cleanup as Chengdu Hunter sent back to spawn.
Yeah, not a lot of counterplay again. When you don't have that Diva and your DPS are going to get stuck inside the Graviton Surge.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, though, and they are going to get Yakpung back in time, who's on the Winston coming into the payload.
Jinmu very close to another barrage on that Pharah. Should have the ultimate in just a second. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Okay, Envy just throwing his mech in there. From downtown, Roke caught though by Jinmu. The Rockets find their target. Jinmu uses the barrage, no more kills, but it does allow Elsa to find Neko in the back lines. There's the EMP coming through now in Toronto. Jinmu gets another one. Envy in a lot of trouble. There's the D-Mech, and Hunters may have broken through. This could be their point A.
I think it is going to be their point A. Jinmu still, there's nothing that's going to stop him from clearing out this payload, popping down to eliminate Stellar, and he's already looking for some more ultimate charge for his barrage by bouncing people around this next point.
Yeah, Jinmu looking more like Winmu. with those rockets at the end of point A here.
Still a ways to go. Still have to make it all the way through the map here for the Chengdu Hunters. It was a respectable hold for the Toronto Defiant.
2:44 on the clock. Just need to make tracks if they want to finish this one off. Ooh, they've got Envy pretty low. Envy getting aggressive, getting DMAC'd early. That's going to be a problem. Hunters, they throw the Dragon Strike through. Sound Barrier must be used by Toronto, who are back on the payload, slowing it down. But there goes Roki. And Defiant completely scattered here on this defense. Nice sleep dart on Elsa.
Wrong princess for the naps again, Elsa.
Oh, whoops. Not making this work at all, no. This is not lore specific. Nano boost on the Stellar. We're going for it, man. Getting bloodthirsty. There goes Yakpung, though. Couldn't keep him alive, and Stellar down as well. Hunters slowly grinding through the Toronto Defiant here.
Yeah, but you see the problem, Noah, is that the Hunters were not moving the payload at all during that fight.
No.
And as long as the Toronto Defiant just are standing on that cart, they can drain like a minute off the time bank while losing every fight.
Yeah.
So, Chengdu need to figure out a way. There's Eamon for the top down.
Huh. All right.
Just a ball on a cart.
It's taking a break.
Chilling out next to the other ball.
That's right. Having a delicious, healthy snack of carrots or something inside that wrecking ball. Everyone should. Hunters, they're going to have to fight at some point. Here we go. Jinmu. Barrage at the ready. Can he find it? Going around the corner. Ooh, they flee into the building. Those rockets cannot pierce wooden walls, apparently. There goes Ivy. And Toronto in a little bit of trouble here. Dragon Strike coming through. It's all about the space control that Hunters are getting out of using their ultimates. But now it's going to be the Primal Rage from Yakpung. Trying to push people away from the payload. Less than 1 minute remaining for the Hunters. They've got to make something happen. There's a kill under Roki, but it's taking so long to kill the rest of Defiant here. Barrage used. They get one. Here comes a Winston. Oh, Ivy just roasts him from behind, but the kills have happened. Bacon Jack and Elsa, though, caught in the grab. And the answering kills from Toronto let them hold the point, and now there's just 30 seconds remaining. It's looking like it's impossible for Hunters to keep this going.
I mean, the Chengdu Hunters are playing Overwatch League on hard mode. They are good at what they do, but what they do is so difficult to make work, to keep on pushing these payloads. Got a one last shot here to make it through B.
Eamon needs to play these next 15 seconds perfectly if they want to keep their team alive and get in the point C here. Goes through with the knockup. There's a slam and Yakpung down. Bacon Jack picking him out of the air as he's knocked up. Maybe the Hunters can do it. They got to get somebody on the payload, though. Defiant, rather, to stop them. There goes Stellar. Hunters, they're brawling it out. And I got to say, I think they might be able to turn this one around. Jinmu gets the kills. Envy,
they're going to do
trouble.
it.
There's a res on a Bacon Jack, and they get point C. Toronto Defiant brought down to the Hunters level and beaten there.
I mean, they're setting up a lot of these eliminations, and most of these crucial elims have come because Eamon is displacing somebody, and the team knows exactly who's going to be picked up. Everybody focuses Yakpung when he's popped into the air, or another player when they get knocked up by the Wrecking Ball pile driver when he jumps from above.
Well, it's like you said, the coordination is really good despite the fact that the comps are a bit wacky, you know? From the Hunter side, there goes Envy. Bacon Jack just finds him with a headshot. It's skill. Yakpung gets Bacon Jack, and there goes Jinmu, though, too. So they will have to regroup now that the payload is stopped. And oh boy, wow, they're committing, man. EMP used. I'm a little bit surprised that Chengdu Hunters want to try to fight that after losing a couple. That is bold. Eamon going deep, and he's going to wish he hadn't. Envy gets the kill there. And now Toronto in a good position. 30 seconds left for the Hunters.
I mean, that time, Roki was hiding away, knowing the EMP was going to come through, and saved his team by using the sound barrier afterwards.
Well, I'm surprised they used that EMP after losing 2 people already.
This is going to be hard. Nano boost and rally available. Chengdu have nothing. No ults. They switched to 3-3. This is going to be rough. Anti-heal.
Big anti-heal onto Bacon Jack and Eamon. Yeah, that should be it. Now Yakpung gets a nano boost, just sweeping his way through Defiant. He's a janitor, and it's cleanup time. At the end of Route 66, Elsa's trying to get something done, man. He's causing that overtime, but can anybody from his team get back? Doesn't seem like it. Gonna get D-Mech, D-Lifed as well. Eamon back in there. They've got the sound barrier, or a shield anyway from Eamon. Sometimes you can get a lot. from being around there. Jinmu down, though. It's another pin coming from Yakpunk. There goes Bacon Jack. And Defiant standing tall on the payload. An EMP from Envy will seal the deal. And Toronto Defiant, they had to work for it, but they will win Route 66 and they will win this series.
Well, Toronto Defiant had to think about a lot of things that the Chengdu Hunters were throwing at them tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of different strange compositions, but they managed to eke it out in the end. They lose Volskaya and win a narrow one here on Route 66.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, win or lose, the Chengdu Hunters are one of my favorite teams to watch in the Overwatch League. And I feel like we sound like a broken record, but it's so true that these guys play what they play really well. The issue is that what they play just isn't ideal when you look at what's strong in Overwatch right now. And, that might come back to really benefit them later on down the line as the game changes, as patches come in. But, right now in stage one, it's really tough to make that style work.
I think it's admirable they've taken 2 wins and only 3 losses in a meta that doesn't suit them. There are a lot of teams trying to play the meta game who have lost a lot more matches. So at least by doing something different, they've been able to scrape out a couple of wins.
It's an impressive result for what they're doing. We'll see if they keep it up. Meanwhile, we've got Danny ready to go with Ivy from the Defiant for an interview.
That is right, Doa. I am here with Ivy from Toronto Defiance. Everybody make some noise. Yeah. Congratulations on the win. Now, we've seen some sick Zarya plays from you tonight, and you're also considered one of the best Zarya players in the Overwatch League. Do you feel like Toronto Defiance have been sort of underestimated up until now? 자, 오늘 또 굉장한 자리아 플레이 좀 보여주셨고 또 오버워치 리그에서 벌써 아이비 선수가 좀 자리아 플레이어로서 좀 탑으로 손꼽히는 선수로 좀 꼽히고 있는데 아이비 선수가 보셨을 때 토론토 팀이 지금까지 좀 저평가를 받고 있는 팀이었다고 좀 생각을 하시나요?
네, 커뮤니티나 이런 데 봐도 저희가 저평가가 많이 돼서 좀 생각보다는 저희가 더 저평가보다는 더 잘하는 것 같아요.
So, from what I have seen on the internet and everywhere, I feel like our team has been underestimated, but I just want to put this out there. We are better than what you guys think. And I also believe that is very true. Next question, your next match and your last match of the stage is going to be against Hangzhou Sparks. How are you guys preparing for that fight? 자, 이제 다음 경기 그리고 또 마지막 경기 이제 플레이오프로 진출하기 전에 마지막 경기 항저우 팀과의 경기가 남았는데 좀 어떻게 준비를 하고 계신가요?
그냥 스크림 열심히 하고 연습 열심히 하면서 하고 있고요. 난 충분히 이길 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Practicing a lot in scrims and out of scrims, and I feel like we will definitely take the win. Alrighty, thank you so much, everybody. Give it up for Ivy one more time. That's all I got. Doa and Monty, back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Danny. And let's take a look at our standings overall after that one. So Defiant jump up to 4th place in the overall standings. They have that +2 map differential. We talked about them coming in at 0 when the match begins, so it is important to get that map differential as high as possible. Considering that when it comes down to it, playoff spots might be on the line depending on that value.
Right, and especially because Shock, Rain, and Charge have yet to play their 6th match, and they're already higher when it comes to map differential, so a real chance there for the Defiant to slip back down if they hadn't won that match, right?
That's
Obviously,
true.
match wins are the first tiebreaker. Second tiebreaker is map differential.
Spitfire lurking out there as well, so you got a little bit to worry about. Let's take a look, in the meantime, at our Omen by HP player of the match. It's going to be the one, the only, Neko, the flex support. That's right. Whipping out the Ana here today. Had a lot of really nice sleep darts, as you can see right there. Just causing that long stagger, taking time off the Chengdu Hunters clock. And so much else. So many great bio grenades as well, denying the healing.
Yeah, a lot, and I like the idea that the Toronto Defiant had coming into the match of trying to play a lot of Ana. Even some Moira, which we don't see typically, but against DPS heavy compositions, when you have that extra heals, really gives the punch to your tank line, like gives them that sustain to stick on to the points.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Ivy talk a little bit about people underestimating them. But I think, when we've talked about it in our, caster discussions and things, we're like, well, these guys are just a team that plays the meta really well. But now today, I think we're seeing a little bit more than that. We're seeing this good adaptability. And with the interesting opponents they have this week in the Hunters and Spark later on, we're going to need to see that because those are teams that kind of like to pull out some non-standard stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's right. So, wow, it was a great day of Overwatch League. 3 matches today, but certainly 3 memorable ones. Man, that was fun. What a great way to kick off week 4.
Absolutely fantastic, Doa. Looking forward to more matches as we go through this 4th week of the stage.
That's right. Don't forget, Watchpoint post-show coming up right after this. Thanks for watching, guys. This was the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.